The vultures circled, dark silhouettes against the bruised dawn sky, mirroring the unease settling in Jedediah's bones. Silas Blackwood was dead. A viper's kiss, they said. Quick, clean. But Jedediah knew better than to accept appearances in Copper Canyon, especially when it came to Silas Blackwood. Vipers uncommon around here this time of year. Sheriff Brody grunted, spitting a stream of tobacco juice into the dust. His stoicism was a familiar comfort, a stark contrast to the swirling anxieties in Jedediah's gut. "That's what I was thinking," Jedediah replied, his gaze fixed on the rough-hewn pine box that held Blackwood's remains. "He's known Blackwood for years. The man was a collector, not just of trinkets and artifacts, but of secrets. Dangerous secrets. Mateo Vargas, a prospector with hands roughened by years of digging, stood trembling nearby, guarded by two of Brody's deputies. "I told you, Marshal," Vargas insisted, his voice a frantic whisper. "I saw him. He was arguing with someone. Near the ridge. Then I heard a scream. I didn't see nothing more. I swear." Jedediah's memory stirred, surfacing a forgotten conversation with Vargas years ago, a cryptic comment about Blackwood's fascination with Yavapai law. Who was he arguing with, Mateo? Vargas shook his head violently. "I don't know. It was dark. He was wearing a hat. Hold low." The scent of sandalwood drifted on the breeze, faint but persistent, a lingering echo in the morning air. Jedediah frowned. He's encountered that scent before, linked to Blackwood's acquisitions of Yavapai artifacts. It clung to the man like a second skin. He was obsessed with that death mask, Ilariform said softly, a voice a quiet counterpoint to the tension hanging in the air. She stood apart, a silent sentinel, her dark eyes fixed on the freshly dug grave. He's been watching her for weeks, her presence an enigma he couldn't quite decipher. The guardian, perhaps, was something more. He believed it held power. Jedediah said, his voice low. Yavapai power. Ilara's gaze met his, cool and unwavering. He saw what he didn't understand. He shifted his weight, the familiar ache in his knees a constant reminder of the years he's spent chasing shadows across the Arizona territory. He suspected Blackwood hadn't been seeking power for himself. He's been collecting information, piecing together something larger, more dangerous. "Did you see who he was arguing with, Ilara?" Jedediah asked, his voice carefully neutral. She paused, a flicker of something unreadable in her eyes. "The desert holds many secrets, Marshal. Some are best left buried." Her words were a warning, a veiled threat. He recognized the Yavapai grace in her movements, the quiet strength that belied her delicate appearance. She was a protector, he realized, shielding something or someone. He turned his attention back to Vargas, the prospector's fear palpable. "You said he was near the ridge. Did you see him carrying anything?" Vargas swallowed hard, his Adam's apple bobbing nervously. "He had a ceramic vessel, small, wrapped in cloth." "The breath of the earth." Jedediah recognized the description. A sacred object stolen from the Yavapai, a treasure Blackwood had coveted for years. It held a connection to the land, to the spirits of the ancestors. "Marshal," Brody interrupted, his voice sharp. "We got the rider coming in from Redemption. Says he wants to speak with you." Jedediah nodded. "Let him through." The rider, a young man named Caleb, dismounted with a weary slump. "Marshal," he said, his voice low, "I got word from the Golden Nugget. There's trouble brewing. Gambers and roughnecks all celebrating Blackwood's death. Saying it's a sign." "A sign of what?" Jedediah pressed. Caleb hesitated, glancing nervously at the gathering crowd. They're saying Blackwood's gone to join the ancestors. That his secrets are now free for anyone to claim." Jedediah felt a chill run down his spine. Blackwood's death wasn't just a tragedy. It was an invitation. A gateway to something darker, something he wasn't sure he was ready to face. He looked at Ilara, her face a mask of inscrutability. He knew with a certainty that settled deep within his bones that she knew more than she was saying, and he suspected that the answers he sought wouldn't be found in Redemption, or amongst the celebrating gamblers. They lay buried deep within the heart of the desert, guarded by ancient secrets and the watchful gaze of the Yavapai people. Sheriff Jedediah said, his voice ringing with a newfound determination, "I want a detail heading to Redemption, and I want every man in Copper Canyon to be accounted for. I have a feeling this is just the beginning.